Hello, everybody, and welcome to Valbrut with me, Valbrut. We are in Train Sim World 4, and to address the elephant in the room, it's been a while, quite a long time. Months, possibly 6 months. I can't remember what my last video was. Um, but yeah, I think it was long before Train Sim World 4. I think it was Train Sim World 3, and possibly when what route would have come out when I last did a video? Edinburgh Glasgow. I think I did one. I think I did one for Edinburgh Glasgow. Can't remember if I did one for Lee. Oh, I think I did. Yeah. I did because I took the train from Niedertalbahn on that one. So yeah, it would have been around then. I think they were among the last routes for TSW3, or was there something else? Was there another steam route? Oh, there was a steam route. Maybe I did a video on that. No, I don't think I did. It was too boring. Glossop Line. I didn't do a video on that one, but I think that might have been the last route for TSW3, and now it's all TSW4. And suffice to say, whilst I know probably people are like, cash grab, how outrageous, TSW4, they said they were going to upgrade TSW3, this is outrageous, blah, 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 blah. TSW4 is actually really good. It incorporates a lot of what people have been asking for a long time, including an editor, which I don't have because I'm not that bothered by it. And nobody who's been saying for 3 years, oh my god, once we got the editor, we can make everything, and it'll take only 5 minutes, and actually there's barely any content people have made with it. So maybe it is as hard as DTG said it would be to use. Interesting that. But yeah, anyway, so what they've done is sort of like bringing a free roam. You can just spawn in trains in the timetable mode, which is pretty brilliant. Actually, a bit of a game changer, I would say, because it means that you don't have to worry about making your own scenario. You can make your own scenarios and you can still share them, and the scenario plan is actually better now because you can use portals on the newer TSW4 routes, so you can actually send trains off the map, so you don't have to account for them. You can get rid of them basically. Um, and Lupita, what do you want? My dog's being very annoying. So that's pretty big. But yeah, I think free roam and just being able to spawn in a train is like the biggest game changer. Um, so I don't know what to do today actually, because like the new Blackpool, Preston, Ormskirk route is really good. Probably the best British route. Well, I don't know. East Coast Mainline and Southeastern High Speed are good, but this one is like diesel slow. It's much more detailed and better than say Northern Transpennine and what's the other one? Tees Valley, but Tees Valley Line. That's it. But it is not as challenging as Northern Transpennine because that's all the hills. And it's not as freighty and as Tees Valley. But it's good. I mean, it is. I'd say quality-wise in terms of how it's all put together. And I mean, I don't even like pacers, and I was like not a fan of like, oh my god, bring a pacer to the game. I was like, why? It's like the worst DMU that British Rail ever made. um, but actually, they've done a really good job of it, and you really do feel like you're in it. Um, with that said, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Because I do want to kind of show a free roam. I think I'm going to. Um, I'm going to do East Coast Mainline because I love the idea of taking the high speed train in a livery. So I'm going to go. I'm going to spawn on foot in Doncaster. Doncaster. No, I don't want to do Doncaster because that'll take too long. Retford, no. Newark, Northgate. Yeah, I think I'll do Newark, Northgate. That's about halfway down the line. Yeah. So, and I'll do it at 9:15. Yeah, and I'll. Oh, and there's some new foggy weather as well that they've put into the game. Should I do? I'll do Misty. I'll do Misty. Misty's a bit better. Foggy's a bit too foggy, if you get what I mean. Misty's a little bit better, and it's daytime, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, 9:15. Right. So, I am going to whilst I do this, I'm going to check if I can find. Oh, where's my mouse gone? Oh, it's because of the loading screen. I don't know why. I'm going to check if I can find out who made the livery that I'm going to use. So I'm spawning into the LNER timetable, which is based after the HST has gone from the from the East Coast main line. But I'm gonna spawn one in anyway because I want to. Oh, hello people. Okay. Right. Can I get into here on there? Yeah, I can. Oh, look, there's a train waiting to get in. You're going very slowly. What are you waiting for? Someone just left. Oh no, people are just waiting generally. Anyway, right. I'm going to. Oh, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go to Peterborough, by the way. So I'm going. Oh, what's that? Is that a signal? A caller signal? Oh, it is. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, so I'm going to buy the magic. I'm on PC, by the way. Specs are just if you want to know performance-wise, because it is similar. Basically, it's the same as Chainsaw World 3. The only route that seems to be quite problematic is New York Trenton, which people didn't like anyway. But it's actually got a new timetable, and it's pretty good. But it stutters quite a bit. But the rest more or less Train Sim 1-3 like. But look, so just by pressing left on an Xbox controller, oh my wire isn't long enough. But if you press left on the D-pad on an Xbox controller, you bring up that menu, and you can spawn in whatever you want. So I'm going to spawn in not the Midland Mainline one. I'm going to spawn in the Great Western Green. Oh, and actually, while I'm here, I'm going to check if I can find that what it is. I'm going to the website of the. Okay, right. So this one is made by Red Bandit. The actual Red Bandit is the creator of this livery. I just need to find the high-speed train now. Easier said than done. These menus, like they're better than they probably were in Trains in World 2 or whatever, but the trains are still sort of like it's madness trying to find what you want. I know that that one of them's over here. Right, where is it? Shout out if you see the HST. I'm just trying to remember, like, there it is. There we go. So liveries, I'm going to LNER 43290. Yep, that's it, spawn. And it's a good one. So we're going to spawn this in. And it'll spawn it in one carriage at a time. Look at that. Everything comes in. Isn't that cool? I love it. I really do love it. So, oh, look at that. Yes, get in. So we're going to be stuck behind. Well, no, we're not going to be stuck behind it because it would be stuck behind us. So like I said, this was made by Red Bandit, and it's a good livery. Oh my god, look. Oh, it's so good. Look, it's weathered. It looks good. It's like, I mean, this was the Virgin livery originally, so even just, I mean, I don't know if that's deliberate, but it looks like they just put a sticker on the top of it, which I guess they did when LNER took over from Virgin's failure. Virgin. I won't say what I think about Virgin. Right, so let's turn on everything. Open doors. I need to set my thing, I will turn on the AWS. Oh no. And I will turn on my gauges because it's missed there. We'll turn on my lights. Day and headlamp, yes. And I'll lock the doors. I'll bring these down and then I shall. Right, so where's the signal? Signal is there. Right. So now I go into the map, make sure my focus is on, as soon as you open the map, your focus will automatically be on your train. So all you have to do is press A on an Xbox controller, B X on a PlayStation controller, and set the path. And then you get this little icon which tells you you can go wherever you want. So I'm going to set my path to go to here. Yeah, I'm going to go to this platform, so I know that platform is, I believe, the fast platform. That's the fast line running through the middle of it. And that's going to be it. And I should... Oh wait, no, I've spawned in front of the signal, haven't I? Ooh, I'm not going to move then. I'm going to wait for that train to go. Does it say when it's going? So I don't want to conflict with it or create a problem. 9:20. Okay, so it should be going soon then? But if not, if it gets to 30 seconds past and it hasn't done anything, I'll just... Oh no, wait, he's going. I'll wait. Because these trains, the Azuma, the 801, are electric, and they go pretty much as fast as you can imagine a sort of modern electric multiple unit would go. This train is a little bit slower. Look at that, look at the volumetric fog effects. You can see the light through the fog. Ooh. This train takes a long time to get to top speed. So, it would be very unfair for me to go in front of him, because he would take ages stuck behind me, whereas this way, no problemo. But I am going to have to wait. I'm going to wait for him to pass that signal. And there's a green there somewhere there. I'll wait for him to pass that, and then I shall look. It's going to take us already 4-5 times the amount of time to get as far as that train has already got. You'll see. Forget how slow this train is to accelerate, but once it gets up to speed, it does feel like woof. It feels fast because it feels weighty. There we go. I mean, see, off to a flying start, eh? I will say I play this now with a nice set of earphones that support 3D audio. I don't know if the game is set up for it, because I guess it's using surround. It has surround sound in it. But God, it sounds so good. Like I did not know this is the Great Western HST. So like it's been in the game pretty much since day one, and I'm hearing sounds that I never heard. There's an option in Windows that you can select. That's like Windows binaural sound, or I don't know what it is, but it just enables this really, I mean, pretty much everything sounds fascinating, like brilliant, with it turned on, so I recommend it. Certainly even newer routes that are like, I had to push that open, didn't I? There we go. Go on, hurry up. Lights are on. Yeah. See, the problem with the Midland Mainline one, I think I've got a mod installed that fixes it now, but the lights inside are really bright and it looks really weird. Whereas this one is just a little bit nicer, and I think the sounds on this one are a bit nicer than the ones on the Midland Mainline HST. Gorgeous, any. Also, the decals on the Midland Mainline one show up underneath the paint, so you can still see where the Midland Mainline sort of livery kind of is. It's not super obvious, but in certain lights you can sort of catch it. So already look how slow we are. This is yeah. It's slow. Well, whilst we take like the best part of 2 hours to get anywhere. I'm like, bear in mind I've started halfway down the line and it's still probably going to take an hour to get from here to Peterborough with no stops. Oh, hello, Miss Elenia. Look at that, old versus new, and look at the new camera mode. So this is like, people have been asking for photo mode for ages. somewhat of a shame is that we've lost the sort of ability to have like motion blur in the pictures. But you can faff and faff around with this and kind of make like sort of artistic-y blurry ones. Like it's not super obvious how to do it because unless you know photography really, because it doesn't just say do this and make it blur. But like generally to get that kind of blurred out background, sharp foreground, you need to set your depth of field very low. And then you need to set a focal point. Like that, basically. Now, sometimes if you're too low or if you're under a bridge or something, the game will sort of capture the edges of what's around you. And so you won't be able to do this, and you won't figure you'll be like, why can't I do it? And it's because like the game is seeing something that's like off the edge of the screen that's sort of capturing its focus, so it's not focusing on what's in the center of the screen. Even if you do a grid, like there's no focus point, if you get what I mean. So you can do this, and then you can sort of up the saturation to make it look a bit nicer on a foggy day, make it a bit brighter. You can add if you go to the left on the vignette, you can make it lighter around the outside. If you go to the right, you can make it darker. I'm going to make it lighter because I want it to look like a really light foggy day. Doesn't that look beautiful? Really good. Oh, and also like generally the more zoomed in you are, the more of the blur effects you'll get with the what's in the distant black background. So if you kind of sort of zoom out, because more of the picture is sort of the angle is wider, there's less of a point for it to focus on. So that's how you do the sort of wonderful artistic pictures with a bokeh of the lights. I'm gonna take the picture. I'm gonna save and upload it because I love it. I have a really nice one of an 801, a zoomer as my well, I did have it as my desktop background for a month or so, and then WRC EA Sports WRC came out, which I worked on, and like through Pride, it's also an Unreal Engine game, and it has a photo mode similar to this, but it does have a motion blur thing, so you can sort of set it all up like this, and then you press a button and it simulates the motion blur. But similar to this as well, it sort of has its sort of intricacies about where it focuses, and it kind of has similar options to this, but in a different way, because I guess it's an Unreal Engine feature that each game sort of iterates their own way of doing it. So yeah. So I took a really nice picture of a Citroen Zara shooping around a corner with motion blur and everything, and it looked great. So that became my desktop background. But I'm getting into this because I've taken some really nice ones on Blackpool, Preston. So maybe that's gonna be my next desktop background. Well, anyway, oh, and the other good thing is, this is another thing that you can do. Look at that, blurry, blur. Look at that. I'm looking through the now look. Ooh, isn't that artistic, eh? Look, captured through the bushes. See, this is quite nice, and what I quite like about this now. And then if you press X, it just goes back to its standard camera view, and then you can sort of just go out of it, and you're back. Isn't that great? I mean, like I said, it's a bit of a shame that you can't simulate motion blur anymore, like you could with the previous photo mode, where you just grabbed it. But all in all, I think this is better. Like it definitely gives you better, more artistic shots, or the opportunity to have more artistic shots. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. So yeah, what have I been playing since? So I actually went through a period over summer because I passed my driving test finally. It took me 4 fails, and I passed on my 5th attempt. And I'm bitter about each one of the fails because there were 2 that were really my fault that I can't blame anyone else for. 2 that were just like the instructors the tester being very panicky. And so when I passed on the 5th one, which was probably the best, it was the best one really. Although I think my third one was actually better overall. So once I passed that, I was like, get in a car, driving around the north of Spain, gonna be happy. Done. very happy. So that was my summer. So I didn't really do much playing of this game or that many others. City Skylines I got back into. Haven't bought the second one yet because of the sort of performance issues. And it kind of needs, like, there's something about all the videos I see of it. It just looks kind of, the color grading looks really weird, and I can't find any information on whether you can fix that yet, or whether you need to wait until mods are supported, and mods aren't supported yet. And when mods do come, they're only going to be via Paradox Interactive's own little platform rather than via Steam Workshop. So I'm biding my time on whether I get City Skylines 2, but I'm still having fun with the first one. And I tried to get into Starfield, didn't work. Just found it too boring. Been playing a bit of Spider-Man 2, which is very good. Really, really, really good, well-polished game. Really sort of like brings that sort of Marvel universe alive, or well, DC universe alive. Marvel, DC, it's all one thing now. And was there anything else that sort of swayed me or took me? Oh, I started playing. I'm going to get to 70 and I'm going to up it to notch 4. The throttle, because it's a slow accelerating train, and just shoving it right up to 5 doesn't do anything. Like, you have to kind of sort of ease it up. What was I saying? Oh, I started playing Driver San Francisco again. That is a really underrated game, by the way. You should check it out. It's really hard to find. You basically either need a physical copy, because it doesn't sell on any digital stores anymore, because it's how all of the music is licensed, all of the cars are licensed, and obviously Ubisoft don't want to keep paying for that license, so it's dead to the world. But if you can get a physical copy, or you can find someone who's got a copy that you can borrow and install it, then yeah, you can play it. I've got an old PS3 that makes so much noise, but Driver 3 is Driver San Francisco is brilliant. So I've been enjoying that as well, been replaying it. Really, really underrated game. Although I think it did get good reviews at the time, but it like killed the franchise, and apparently Watch Dogs is what the next Driver became. Watch Dogs is alright, but it doesn't. The driving is terrible in that. Whereas in Driver San Francisco, the driving in the cars is so good. Like, I would say it's a very good competitor for GTA 4 at the time, and then even GTA 5. Although GTA 5 had a lot more detail. But yeah, I mean, it's a really solid game. I was really impressed with it. It held up. My memory was right. Anything else I have been playing? I mean, well, when Train Sim 1.4 first came out, I could not for the life of me figure out how to do free roam. Like, I didn't know how to spawn trains or anything. I didn't realize you had to look at the track. So I was like, how does this work? And then I didn't know how to set the path. So I was like, they've lied. They said that free roam was this thing that you could do in Timetable mode, and you can't. Or you could. Or, yeah, so once I figured out how to do it, but I didn't know how to set the path, I was like, but all the signals were red. How is it supposed to work? Oh, it's useless. And then when I discovered how it worked, it literally was like, clink, this game is actually brilliant. They've also upgraded the way that they render in the overhead wires now, so it's a bit less aliasy. I mean, it is. It looks better than when you go into an older route and you see what it was like before. You're kind of like, yeah, it's better. All in all, I mean, I think this, when it first came out, I was a bit like, why? I really wanted East Coast Mainline, but I was like, why is it TSW4? But now, no, fair enough. They've added in like ground shaking features. This is different. Fog is nice. Things like the fog is nice, but free roam and the portals on the scenario planner are great if you want to create scenarios. Whereas now that I can do this and just spawn in Timetable mode, I'm like, do I really want to use scenario planner for anything? Yeah, I might create a 90s intercity for Cornwall. Oh, and actually the Pacer, the 142 from the Pacer from Blackpool, Preston or Ormskirk, does sub in for the 150 on Oh, I forgot to up a notch. Does sub in for the 150 on Cornwall Sentinel Stall. What's it called? Cornish Local? Cornwall Local? Cornish Local? I can't remember. West Cornwall Local, that's it. So yeah. I mean, I do very much recommend why is my brain still working? The Blackpool route. Yeah, very highly recommended. And for that, it's also the 3 TSW4 base routes. So this one, Metrolink, California, Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles. And the Austria route, whose name I can't remember, and nor can I remember the places it goes. They're all good. I would say I haven't played the Austria one that much. I don't know. I think it's because like so used am I to playing German routes that this one it just kind of like, oh, where are all the German trains? There are some, and there's even the Swedish, the little Flirt Loco. Is it Flirt? Bombardier Flirt or something? Oh look, huge. Makes an appearance in there, but it doesn't. I don't know. Didn't spark as much joy as I thought it would. So it's probably the least of the 3 that I played. Metrolink is nice. It's very similar to Peninsula Corridor, but better because Peninsula Corridor is kind of like bare bones scenery wise, whereas Metrolink actually does look very nice. But again, it doesn't really have any. Doesn't have much AI. There's not that much variation. Well, actually, I need to check what the oh, what do you call it? The thing where you get prizes for doing mastery. I need to check what the mastery is for that. I just think it was annoying that like. So you put in the Edinburgh tram for Glasgow Edinburgh, but you didn't put in the metro, which runs through Los Angeles Union Station. You didn't put that in, but I don't know if it maybe is the Mastery Award. I doubt it. Probably is something else. Oh, there's a really good scenario in there as well in that one, which is like you are a train that's supposed to be appearing during a car chase for a film, and you have to drive the train at like the right speed and like be there at certain points to chase the car. It's really cool. And so one of the things I think I've done only 2 scenarios which are created using the editor now, and that's all I've seen the editor used for, to be honest. Like every other mod that I've got is like the same mods that you got in TSW3, TSW2. The only one that is oh well, the headlights are actually illuminating things. That's strange. For a train, for this train. Oh, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Train of thought. Choo choo. Oh, was I talking about Metrolink? If I was, I don't remember where I was going with it. Oh yeah, I was saying the scenario. So a few people have used the editor to make scenarios, and one of them I played was one of them was on this route, and it was a really good one actually, because it had like a you had a little mobile phone, and you had to drive the train, and then the electric was down at certain points, so you had to carry on. What was that? The official one? I think this is what it was. And then you have to come back with the train. And it was just really good because you talk to someone on the station, very similar to the official scenario, but just a little bit more involved, because you like press to say, you get like option. I think you get like 2 options of what you want to say. So that was like a sort of fan-made scenario, really really good. And then was the German one, which I think was on. I can't remember what route it was on. To slow down, and we're going across the. Oh, look at that! Look at the sun coming through the fog. Whoa! Oh wow, that train was missing its back end. I've noticed that with the the Creators Club liveries, sometimes the full train doesn't spawn in. That could have been a Creators Club one, because I did download a Pride one for LNER that looks basically exactly like the LNER one, but with the Pride colours on it. So it could have been that, because I haven't really noticed it with like just the normal trains on the line. It's usually only the Creators Club ones that don't seem to load in all of the carriages. Oh, but yeah, what I think I was originally going to tell you what my specs were, so you could tell what the performance was like. So this is a PC. I have a Ryzen 7 processor, 5700G, which is like the sort of one. It's not the top one. It's X, I think, is the top one. But this is G, so it's like budget. But it's like a 7, so it's got like 12 threads. 16 cores, 8 cores. I don't know. It's it does well. It's not. I mean, you'd buy if you weren't on a budget, you'd buy the better version of it. But yeah, it does well. And I have a RTX 3080 Ti, 12 gigabytes, and I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. But that RAM is for City Skylines because it eats into your RAM. Whereas this game, I don't know if it makes any difference. I'd say probably 16 is fine. And I run it off an SSD, a Corsair, very fast Corsair, 2 terabyte SSD. And yeah, like you can see, it kind of hiccups at points, but this game always has, to be honest. Certainly since DSW2. I don't think I had the first one on PC. I used to play on PS4. Whereas I've kind of now abandoned it on console, because even though I appreciate it on a big screen, I just like being able to kind of stop and then look at something else on the other screen and like fix things as I'm going. You get what I mean? And I quite like leaving the console for like big blockbusters like Spider-Man 2, for example. Oh, and Armored Core, I also played that, and I tried to play Diablo 4, but I think at the time when I started, there was a problem with the balancing of the mage class. Oh, what was the class that I picked? I always do this with RPGs. Somehow I'm like, I pick what I think is the coolest looking one, which is always the one that's like, oh, mystical and oh, it has healing powers, but never actually good in fights. And I think there was some problem with the balancing as well, which meant the first boss fight I came across, this bloody, like, the end of this epic story of like trying to find this girl's mom, and it turns out the mom's like part of the bloody, what's her name? I keep wanting to say Sue Ellen, but that's from Dallas. I don't know why I think the big baddie's name in Diablo is called Sue Ellen Ewing. It's not, but it's a name like that. Unexpected name, like Martha. It's not. But yeah, so I tried playing that, and either I was just very bad or the balancing was wrong, and I just couldn't get past that first boss, so I sort of put it aside and then haven't gone back to it because I was distracted by other things. And I will get back to it. And now I'm considering getting a Switch, but only because I'm going back to the UK for Christmas, and I was thinking, oh, do I want a handheld or something? Because I've got like a little handheld that's like an emulator of like old PC and Atari games and stuff like that, but I don't know if it will keep me entertained while I'm in the grey, deep dark grey UK over Christmas. Although I am looking forward to no, what am I looking forward to? Oh, possibly being on a... Oh no, they're not in service, are they? The Avantis, the 805s, are they? So yeah, there's nothing. I got nothing to look forward to train-wise. Oh, seeing the Midland Metro extension might be nice, because I think last time I was there, it was in progress, but it hadn't opened yet, and now it is functional to Edgbaston Village. Edgbaston Village. It's a bloody Morrison's next to some big 1960s office blocks. It's not a village at all. But yeah, that'll be nice. And maybe if I've got some family who live over Dudley Way and they're extending it out through Dudley and Brierley Hill and Merry Hill, that might be good. Nice to see that. Progress. But I probably won't be able to see much because I've only had my license for less than 6 months, and you need to have, to rent a car, you need at least a year. For pretty much every place. It's either a year or 2 years. So I can't rent a car and go and see things, sadly. It's a shame. I wouldn't mind going to what's it called? Severn Valley Railway. But I'll be able to do this next year. Oh, have I got a little... I've got an 801 stuck behind me. How sad he is going so slow. He's like, oh, can you hurry up? And I'm like, listen, give me another 15 minutes and I'll get to 125. Just in time for the line speed to start dropping to go into Peterborough. So the only downside of this one is you get the wheel effect from the older trains, because it's the Great Western rather than the Midland Main Line train. But yeah, I can live with that. Have I forgotten anything else that's new to TSW? Dun dun dun. Like there's options. Is there more options? I don't think so. Oh, you can do more with your UI. You can hide things more and do bits and bobs. Oh, what have I done? No, yeah, hidden accessibility. There's like an accessibility stuff now. I think that might be in 3, but it's much more things now. I don't think you can actually remap controls on a controller. Oh, can you? Oh no. But you can do your track rumble. Oh, control hover. Oh yeah, you can sort of set how much you want the vibration to be. Oh, I guess you can. That's force feedback. I wonder. We'll see. Or if or maybe it's just vibration. We'll see. I haven't tried it. I can never be asked to try with my DualSense on the PC because you have to kind of set up a profile for it. Oh, and those flashing signals, those flashing greens, are like a hangover from the days of when BR thought they could get 140 miles an hour out of the Electras. What are they called, Electras? IC225s. 225 kilometers per hour is 140 miles an hour. Yeah. But in reality, I think the health and safety executive were like, no, that's too dangerous. Because bearing in mind that the UK doesn't really have a sort of all-encompassing safety thing like PZB or anything like that. Now it does. This line now has been upgraded, is in the process of being upgraded with the European Train Control System, but ETCS. But back then it didn't. So like, if a driver made a mistake, I mean, at that speed, there wasn't enough sort of things to sort of get in the way. Oh look, that's a 158. In its original Regional Railways livery. It should be an East Midlands livery. But you know what it's like. You download a livery and it just spawns in randomly. I had to get rid of my GWR livery for the 801 because it just kept pulling. It just kept coming in. Literally, it just kept coming in for like every second or third train I saw on this route. So I had to get rid of it. Didn't have that problem with the Avanti, weirdly. I don't seem to see that many Lumos or whole trains, even though I have them downloaded. It's just the GWR that seemed to be the issue. And now that pesky Regional Railways. Oh, but the GWR version of the 158 was pesky as well. That kept showing up, so I had to get rid of that. Interesting. I wonder what it is about GWR, right? Okay, full. Let's have a look. Well, we're not that far away, but in this train, everything feels like it takes twice as long. Even though we haven't had to slow down or speed up, apart from when I forgot that I'd slow down and just let it coast. Because I didn't stop anyway, did I? Just started off at, was it Newark Northgate, and then made my way. when they were Virgin trains. That was a... So I can remember, like, when I started my previous job, I used to work at ITV TV channel, and they obviously have offices in Leeds, like Old Yorkshire Television, and in London, Old Carlton and Thames, and London Weekend Television as well. And I used to travel between the two on the East Coast Main Line, obviously. And when I started, it was still East Coast, government East Coast. And I think actually the second trip I ever took in that job, it was the day it changed to Virgin, and they like gave us so much free stuff in first class. It was also the day that like, the day that work were like, you can't use first class anymore unless you've got like a good reason for it. It was like, but we got our money's worth that day at least. And then it was Virgin for a bit, and then I think one of the last trips I took, it had become LNER, or it was the last days of Virgin were about to dump the franchise. People venerate them. Bloody. But yeah, so I do remember travelling on one of these. I actually remember, funnily enough, getting on a HST at Leeds, and bear in mind, you can the line between Leeds and London is fully electrified. But getting on a HST that was still in Midland Main Line livery and everything, it must have been on loan or something. It was fully Midland Main Line, even the Wi-Fi was Midland Main Line, and we used that to get to get to London. And it still had the big old comfy seats. But I did used to like it when we used to get the Class 90s, 91, 90s, 91, 91 IC225s, as I remember them. Because they felt fast. I mean, the HST does feel fast. Oh, don't get me started on HS2. If we've got enough time, I will go to school on it. But the HST, they do feel quite nice when they're at top speed, because they're like, you know, local hauled, so you don't have engines underneath you. But they are quite slow to get there. Like I just demonstrated how long it takes. Like I don't think I've touched 125. No, I did briefly. Whereas the 225s felt a bit more punchy. They also just looked a bit more like this. Doesn't look bad, but the 225s just had that kind of really like. I don't need to like be streamlined. I'm just gonna force my way through the air with raw power. So yeah, I've always liked that. Alright, 7 miles away now. I think I picked it too late a time. If you do this at like 8:30, you get some really nice freight movements. Oh, hello dog. Lupita. She hears me talking and she's like, who are you talking to? What's wrong with you? Is there someone there? Am I involved in this conversation? No, you're not. Go and have a lie down. What time is it? Oh, you got plenty of time before your pill. Anyway, we'll transition to morning pill tomorrow, I think. And then I'll just give you some treats in the afternoon. This is the life, me and my dog. Oh, why are you looking at me like that? Alright, when I finish this, I'll take you outside in case you do need to go to the toilet. She's having some problems with her adjusting to some new food. So she's constantly like, and because this past few weeks we've been like, her timetable's been all over the place. Just look at it. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of this livery, but I mean, it's not. The train is good, and it doesn't make the train look bad. It's not like the those old school like first Great Western liveries. Like, I mean, before it looked all right when it was like a line. Like when it was first group the first time, and it was green, and like, ugh, that was ugly. And then it became purple. But it's still just a red line, ugly. And then they made the dynamic lines livery, which looked a lot nicer. terrible, terrible. Oh, the Virgin trains livery. I don't think it ever suited this train. I don't think it ever suited any of the trains they had it on, to be honest. Apart from when they refreshed it for the Pendolinos, that looked good. Although now I do kind of look at it, I'm like, I don't know, that it looks a bit clowny. But undeniably, they were like, And what I will say about HS2 is, go look at the reasons why a high-speed line was going to be built between London and Birmingham, why they are building it, and you'll find some really nice little references from like the late 2000s. Oh look. There, this is the Pride one, and it's missing middle carriages. So yeah, that's Creators Club, I think I did see some. There was supposed to be a fix for that, but I guess like most things, it was fixed theoretically rather than in practice. Anyway, what was I saying? I was going to rant about HS2. Oh, I need to HS2. Just slow it down. What was I going to say? Oh yes. So when they upgraded the West Coast Main Line for those Pendolinos, it cost £15 billion, and it was a scandal at the time because it was like, oh my god, all that, and that was the entire West Coast Main Line, by the way, which cut 40 minutes off the journey time between London and Manchester, 56 minutes between London and Glasgow, and it was 15 billion, and it was considered scandalous at the time. And so when it was like sort of announced that, well, you know, it was called sort of like a stopgap because there's not enough space on the West Coast Main Line, so something more needs to be done. It was like, well, we can't, if we're going to have to spend 15 billion to upgrade it more, why don't we just spend like a few billion extra and build a high-speed line? And now the actual cost of high-speed 2 is like going to be like 58 billion or something. And that's just for London to Birmingham. Like, it's maddening, like what could have been done with that money to like create an actual main line. They could have upgraded the Chiltern line. They could have like really done something with don't get me started. Like, done something with Paddington instead of building offices. Like, now there's not even that's 58 million doesn't actually include the money that it might cost to get to Euston, which is supposed to be paid by the private sector now. It's such a terrible example of like an infrastructure project. And like, fully, genuinely, the whole fault is like the whole project has been run by the government, which has been a Conservative Party government since 2010. But like the original idea sort of came from like the dying days of the last Labour government, because it was born out of pessimism of what had happened on the West Coast Main Line upgrade, but also optimism by how well received the HS1 Channel Tunnel rail link had been. Oh look, we made it! Looks like we made it! Oh look, there's an East Midlands train. Did that LNER leave? Oh, bye-bye. Look at this, eh? Look at this! Well, we'll open our doors and then we shall... What shall we do? We shall... set path. Eke out a little bit more. Set destination. Right, it will run out of time way before. Run out of game space long before we reach that point. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, HS2 and its origins being like optimism of Channel Tunnel rail link success, which itself was delayed and expensive and didn't do. I mean, considering that, say, it didn't actually. It was supposed to, if you remember back in the day, there was supposed to be a high-speed Eurostar train stopping at Stratford, and that never happened. Apart from in the Olympics, I think a few stopped there. Oh, we're following a Thameslink train, or it's waiting for. Yeah, it's a red waiting for us. And of course, really, what regenerated Stratford more than anything was the Olympics, because it put billions of pounds into it. Wasn't it? The high-speed line has really played that big a part in it. So like there were failures on that too. Like it wasn't all oh my god great brilliant. But anyway, there was perceived optimism, and because of course it had been built by like it wasn't built by Network Rail or Railtrack at the time. It was built by a sort of like what Network Rail is, like a government backed body. Like HS2 Limited is basically. It's like all of its loans and debts are underwritten by the government, but it kind of and it gets its funding from the government, but it kind of acts semi-independently. Where am I going with this? Oh, but anyway, yeah, just to say that like, it's really odd how it all came together. That like, let's build a high-speed railway line. Then the Tories got behind it. So the Conservative Party became very pro HS2 for a very long time. And then even though it only ever, for now, needed to be London to Birmingham, they, for some reason, just decided to say, yeah, we're going to build an entire UK network. Well, English network, basically, because it was only ever going to go to, like, Sheffield and Leeds. And that was just kind of the logic. Kind of very strange. Oh, is this how we... Oh, look, the river. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, hello. And so they themselves, with like no outside pressure, just decided to make it a UK network without ever knowing what the costs were going to be. And so obviously the costs skyrocketed because they always do in these projects, and now it's going to be 58 billion for one piece of this line, which only has stops in Birmingham and London, nothing in between, which I know is the point of a high-speed line, but it passes through like the southeast of England, which is one of the most densely populated parts of Europe. It blows my mind that the money went on that, and it could have gone on so many other rail projects that would have delivered just as much, if not more. Well, anyway, that was a rant. So you got my free roam experience, and I will tell you now that alone, for me personally, makes this game worth it. It makes it worth upgrading to TSW4. It's a bit of a faff if you don't know what you're doing, but like if you just watch what I did, it's fairly straightforward. And there's plenty of other videos explaining it. That's how I learned. And let me just go to the main menu, see if there's anything else I've forgotten to mention. Oh, let's see. Oh, yes, so those are the 3 lines that come with the TSW4. If you get the full TSW4, you can just buy one of each. And they also upgraded. What did they upgrade? They upgraded Riesa Dresden to have TSW4 features. I don't know what that meant at the time. I haven't really played that route, so I don't know. Because it already has all the German trains on it, whereas I quite like going into like Sieg Nord and putting an ICE or something in timetable mode, or things like that. Anything here that I've forgotten that isn't that's new? Oh, you can put your photo. You got like a photo gallery in here where your photos go. I'll show you some of my beautiful photos. Oh, so this is like oldest to newest. Yeah, okay. I'll show you the one that's my favorite. That was actually my desktop. Here it is. Yeah, that one. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? Lovely, lovely picture. I mean, I know my face is blocking it, but yeah. Just imagine me like next to the train like this. Hey! Oh, and these ones as well. Like just gorgeous. Look at the snow. Gorgeous. Really, really lovely lighting. Really, really good. I think these are like no mod as well. Or maybe I had an INI thing. Some of the newer ones have probably got mods in them, but at the time they didn't. Oh yeah, this was another gorgeous one as well. Sunset. Oh god, I think that is actually still my my desktop at work. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Gorgeous. The things you can do with this photo mode. Oh, and the reflections you can get. Oh, 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 gorgeous. Oh, oh, look at that. Look at that. That was the scenario I made, I think. So I could have the HSTs. And And then I discovered you could just spawn them into timetable mode. You don't have to create your own timetable. Oh, look at that. That is... even if I do say so myself, I'm not, it's not the quality of the photographs I'm in at. It's the quality of the scene, the lighting, the trains. Oh yeah, and of course you can use it in all the old school routes as well. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, love it, love it. Right, how long has this video been? Oh, we're coming up an hour. I'll end it soon. Oh yes, of course you can take the HST now into Diesel Legends of the Great Western. You don't have to create your own scenario. You can just spawn in a HST as if you were on day one of its introduction on the western in the western region. So the westerns are still there, 52s and the 31s and the 47s. You can just drive it alongside them. Brilliant, brilliant. Really is brilliant. That relive the changing of the guard. Oh, and of course, with all the Creators Club, you can take diesels on New York Trenton. Oh, and I should show you that you can take the Azuma. Well, this isn't an Azuma. This would be a pretend Dato 5, but it is just the livery designer version of it on the West Coast Main Line in the Bakerloo line. But I don't know if I mentioned this video of one that I tried to do but then failed. The wires don't work, so you have to use the diesel motor. You put the pantograph up and pretend though, but it's you don't go very fast with that diesel motor in this train. But look, it's cool, isn't it? Like literally expanding parts of the map you couldn't, and with this one you can basically travel the length of the West Coast Main Line as it runs that's in the game and modelled. It's a shame they took it out of the map though, isn't it? Oh, and here are some Blackpool, Ormskirk. Gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looks like real life, doesn't it? Looks like real life if you were alive in the 80s. Is it the 80s? Yeah, it is. It is. Take the 31 on there. Oh, it's gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous, isn't it? All right, all right. I'll stop showing. Oh well, no, I just want to show off. I just want to show off the Pacers. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Got 31. You just put it onto Northern Transpennine now. Don't have to faff around. Don't have to get a mod or anything. Just spawn it in. You do have to actually with the 31 because it still doesn't have the rake of coaches. You have to spawn each of the coaches in individually and then sort of bash them all together to get them fixed on. It takes a bit of a faff, particularly at Leeds, I think, at station because there's like signals in the middle, so you have to sort of path your train so that like each way, so you can sort of reverse back, get all the carriages and then pull them back out, or spawn in a class of 8 to sort of push them to the back of your train. It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's what you can do, and then you can actually look sun rays. Look at the little pacer. I will do a video on the pacer next actually, because it is probably the best model train in the game. British train at least, yeah. Because it's got the suspension, and so it bounces a lot. Oh, that was a nice picture as well, if I do say so myself. Look at that, gorgeous, gorgeous. See, it looks real, doesn't it? It looks real. I would love to get a. I really want the Pendolino in the game. I'd absolutely love to have a Pendolino going over a viaduct or coming out of a viaduct on a tilt. It'd be bloody brilliant. We'll see though. Anyway, as I'm pushing on to an hour now, I'm going to finish this right here and now. Thank you for watching. If you made it through an hour, absolutely brilliant. Welcome back, and I will try and start making more videos again, but probably I'll get distracted because driving is fun and I like driving and I like going places. So we'll see how long this lasts. But it is winter, so it's dark. So yeah. Anyway, goodbye. Thank you for watching. Hasta luego.